Right, it's January 2025. Someone has asked me what happens if I use an Android phone with the Digi-Gurdy. Now, I've got some old videos showing my old Android phone with the Digi-Gurdy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just log in. I've sent the sound font to myself using WeTransfer. So I'm going to show you how you put it onto the Android phone. So I open my Gmails. Right, there we are. WeTransfer sent successfully. So I'm going to open that. Right, and that download link is there. Look, download link. So I'm going to click that. Right, it should be downloading now. Something should happen. I agree. Right, download option here, you see the little blue arrow. Right, it should start. Right, downloading file. Right, so far so good. Right, so I've been through the online purchasing process, and you can see I've removed the time limitation. You can get 5 minutes for free, but I've paid my £10, which is about $12, and now I've got it without time limitation. You can go from 64 channels to 128 for another £2.59, but we don't need that, so that's that. So let's go back to my, let's get out of this. bs-16i is this logo here. Alright, there we are. So I've downloaded the sound font. I now need to tell it what sound font I'm using. So I pressed the little gear coggy thing there. Settings. Sound fonts are called wavetables in bs-16i. So if I maybe press that. Right. This is the default library. If I were to use the Digi-Gurdy with this library, I'd probably get piano sounds or something coming out, which is okay for testing it, but we're going to assign our sound font to library 2. So if I press that, preset library, right, that's the only available one I could select, but we're going to import a wavetable file. Maybe, there we are. And it should be in my downloads. Ah, here we are, recent downloads. Here we are, Vienna Alto Mod 16. So let's press that. There. Whoa. So it looks like it's appeared. Let's go back. Right. It's not shown up. Let's press that. Okay, let's press it then. Right, there's a tick appeared by it. So I think now wavetable library 2, and of the available libraries, the default or bs-16i, sorry, the Digi-Gurdy library of sounds, the sound font, version 16, I've ticked it. Now, right, there it is now. So library 2 in our list of wavetables is this one. So I'm going to select that one. Yeah. Oh, hang on, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go back. Right, wavetables. Library 2. Okay. Right, it defaults with a piano keyboard, but if I press this here, which are like sliders of a, right, you get this view. So channel 1 is currently showing stereo grand piano on every channel. Channel 1. Ah, here we go. Right, library. We don't want library 1, we want library 2. No, I don't know. Hang on. I don't know what's the matter with this. Ah, right, see how that's changed by default to low C still? Hang on. Right, you see these now are all the selectable strings. I need to set these up. So string 1 is rightly or wrongly, it's my melody string, and it's the one that's an octave higher than string 2. So I'm going to choose what have we got? High D steel melody, maybe. Try that. There it appears, you see. This one then is an octave lower, so I'll try low D steel melody there. The next one is our trumpet. So oh, now for some reason it's jumped back to the default library. So sorry, go library, select Vienna Alto mod, press it again. No, it doesn't like it. Oh, now it's in blue and there's a tick by it, so we're good. Go back, try again. Yeah, and you see now it's gone from the default of stereo grand piano to low C steel. So we're going to choose high D trumpet. High D, there we are, high D trumpet. And it's changed, you see. Press that. And then we need to go get the correct library. Yes, it is highlighted, good. So go back. Yeah, it's converted from stereo grand to low C steel. We'll have high D drone there. There it is. And then we're going to have our buzz on channel 5. Change the library to the correct one. Check it's highlighted. Yes. Yes. Okay. It's, yeah. Right. So I'm going to choose the buzz that seems to work best is alternate buzz. Hang on. Alternative buzz. There are other buzzers you can choose from. For me, that seems to work the best. Alternative buzz. Finally, you can add a key click sound if you want to, because Gurdys have a key click that's part of the sound. So I'm going to select the correct library again, and then I'm going to double check that it's library 2, yes, and it's Vienna Alto mod 16, yes. Once you set all this up, it's not so bad. It should remember your settings the next time you turn the app on. So I'm going to have a key click. Let's have I think I'm used alternate key click 2. Let's try that one. There it is. And now these are the default library grand piano. We're not using channel 7, we're not using channel 8, so you might as well scroll them down. This is the master volume control. So what do we want? Well, let's have our drones down a bit. Push the buzz right up. Have a medium amount of click. There we are. Now let's connect our Gurdy to that and see what it sounds like. So for that, on my Android phone, I have this sort of plug. It's USB-C. It's the sort that's kind of oval. It's the kind of most recent one, and it goes in either way up. And we've got male plug the other end. To power the Gurdy from the phone, we're going to plug something into there, the USB socket of the phone. There's an adapter to our long cable, and then this end will plug into the end of the Gurdy here, this socket. This is a development Gurdy, so ignore the weirdness of it. So we need an adapter. This is the long cable that's supplied. That goes in the Gurdy. This goes into some sort of adapter to your iPhone or your Android phone. Today we're talking about the Android phone, so the adapter you need is going to be USB female on one end. On the other end is going to be whatever type of USB socket your phone has. Now my previous phone had a plug on it, a socket on it that was more like that type. This is the type before. You see it doesn't go in either way up, it has to go in a correct way up. But the more modern one is USB-C, and they're oval and they go in either way up. So if you're going on Amazon, say, and searching for this, you need to say that it's USB female one side to USB-C male the other, and you need to put OTG in the search term. That means it will carry data. It's not just for charging your phone. Some of them are just for charging your phone and only have 2 wires inside. You've got to put OTG in the search term. That means it'll carry data. These are really cheap. You can get them really cheap. So I'm going to plug that into there. Okay, I'm going to plug that into my phone, and I'm going to plug that into my hurdy-gurdy. But before I do that, remember, when the hurdy-gurdy is supplied to you, it's supplied so you can get going quickly. It's supplied with the internal audio board turned on, which means you can plug the headphones in, power it from something, anything, laptop, something like that, or a mobile phone power bank, something like this, you know, these backup power banks. Turn on the Gurdy and you'll get some music out through the headphones in the headphone socket. When you're connected to a phone, it would try and draw too much power. The phone won't be able to supply enough power to power the internal audio board and the headphone socket, and you'll get an error message on your phone or your iPad. So before we connect to our phone, because we're going to try and run it off the phone using bs-16i, we need to just check that we've configured this in MIDI mode, because we're going to use MIDI, an industry standard, to talk to the phone. And that's what the app is looking for. It's looking for MIDI commands from our keyboard to tell it what sounds to make out of the phone speaker. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this into the Gurdy. I'm going to plug the other end into this just to supply some power to the Gurdy, and I'm going to put it into MIDI mode. So let's do that. So there we are. Power bank's plugged in, the other end's plugged in there. Screens come on. I'm just going to load any preset tuning. I'm going to choose D. I'm going to confirm it, this key. When I turn the crank, it should try and place, and there we are. Okay, so we're in play mode, cranking mode. If I press this button here, it will change third one in. Remember, these are the volume. Third one in tells you what mode we're in. So I'll press it, watch what happens. Nothing. Okay, hang on. Oh, there we go. Right, that's MIDI mode and internal audio board. So we don't want that, because we want to just go into MIDI mode only. Press it again. MIDI out, save to EEPROM. EEPROM means memory. It means it's saved. We've put it into MIDI mode, in other words, talking to an iPad or an Android phone or something mode, and it's saved it to EEPROM, which means it's saved it to memory. That means when you next power up the Gurdy, it will be in that mode. Okay, so we've got it into the correct mode. Next thing, connect it to the phone. Okay, so got it plugged into my phone, got it plugged into the adapter, plugged into the long cable. The long cable goes into here, and we've got power to the Gurdy. There's no warnings coming up saying sorry, I can't supply enough power, because if you remember, we put it into that MIDI mode, which means the Gurdy doesn't draw anything like as much power as it does when you've got the audio board turned on. So I'm going to load a preset. I'm going to select a D tuning, and I'm going to confirm it, and then I'm going to turn the handle. Right, now next thing, see if we can connect. Now you see this is a 5-pin round socket, and it means MIDI. because in the old days MIDI sockets were like this, which is round with 5-pin holes. Now we're not using that to talk to the phone, we're using the USB cable. We're using something called USB MIDI, which means it's the same kind of data, but it's coming up the USB cable to the phone, and the phone is sending power down the USB cable to the hurdy-gurdy. So we don't need any batteries or anything. Now we've got to try and see if it'll find the DigiGurdy, so I'm going to press that. Right, oh here we are, devices, Teensy Duino Digi-Gurdy, that sounds promising. Let's select that, shall we? Right, see the blue tick has appeared? So let's go back. Right, we've got the master volume turned up. I think I have just got to check I've got the phone volume turned up as well. Yeah, I've got it on medium there. Okay, otherwise you still won't hear anything. Let's turn the handle, let's turn the crank. Oh, oh, oh. Definitely noise. Right, I'm going to cheat because I've only got one hand. I'm going to put it into auto play mode and play some keys. Right, let's just turn the volume right up. Now you can hear the key clicks quite loud. So we can always turn that down a bit. So you see the key click sound's now gone. Now my drone's quite loud compared to my melody, so let's go down a bit on the drones. It's that one, isn't it? Push these up a bit. Right. So basically that's how it works. It sounds like a huge faff to set up, but the next time I turn this app on, these settings should appear, and it should appear with the same volume settings. And there are other things you can do. I just got to remember which menu it's in, but you can add, here we are, you can add things like reverb. You see? You can make it sound quite epic, like you're in a huge hall, for example. So have a play with some of these as well. They're quite good. Well, there you are, Hall 2. I don't know how you get rid of that. Do you? Oh, there we are. Look, there you are. This is new. I hadn't seen these before, but you can add different types of room sound. How do we get out of that? Oh, there we are. Chorus. See? So have a play. You can have a play with these. Oh, what have I done? I should just tap there. There we are. What about delay? There we are. A little bit of delay is quite cool as well, from memory. So there's many more things you can do. Probably actually worth watching some videos on this app. But you can make the Gurdy sound actually quite epic using some of those features. But that's how you connect it. That's the main thing, and you can see it's connected now because that's gone green. So it means it's getting a MIDI input from a source, which could be a keyboard, and in this case it is a keyboard. It's just a very weird keyboard. And I'll put the search term you need to use to get the correct adapter for your phone in the text under this video. So I really hope that helps. So to just run through it quickly again, you need to download the sound font to your phone. Download it with the phone. If you're having trouble with that, I'll send it to you using WeTransfer, because WeTransfer is a free service for large files. You can't attach it to an email because it's too big. It's 200 megabytes, I think. So you download that using your phone. Then you get the app from the App Store. You pay your $10 to $12, whatever it works out as. It will run for 5 minutes for free. I should tell you that. You then open settings, and a default library, also known as a wavetable, will appear, which contains mainly piano sounds. So if you use that library for these 6 channels, then you can make your Gurdy sound like a piano. But what you need to do is select library 2, and then it'll ask you to find the wavetable, which is also known as a sound font, to put into that library, and you will select from your recent downloads the sound font, the one that ends in 16. That's the one to look for. You select that, and then from then on, from library 2, you start populating these first 6 channels. So this is your higher melody string, your lower melody string, and as you can see, there's a whole choice of strings, including gut or steel. The other thing that's hard to get your head around is if you were to have the Gurdy in a D tuning, let's just say, and you selected a G, a low G steel melody string, the right note would still come out because the MIDI command tells it to play it at the correct pitch. So have a play with some of the different strings available in the menu. Some people, I've been told, prefer the to use drone strings as the melody strings because you get like a fatter sound. So they'll populate this with drone strings, and as the MIDI command comes through, it'll force the pitch to change to the correct note for whatever tuning you're in. It's just got like a fuller sound. So I have had that tip from somebody. I haven't tried it myself, but just mess around. You can't really break anything. So there are your 2 melodies. Then you've got your trumpet, your drone. There's only one imaginary low drone and one imaginary trumpet string. There's the buzz sound, and then you can add some key clickiness if that's what you like. And then these 2, I just leave them turned down because they're not used. We're only using the first 6 channels because this bs-16 app will run up to 64 different channels, so you can have a whole orchestra of instruments if you've got the correct input to control them all. And then finally, don't forget to play with these for some of the more epic sound effects. And finally, remember, when you get the DigiGurdy, it will have the audio board enabled, and if you plug this adapter in and try and power it from your phone, you might get an error saying drawing too much power from the phone. So you need to plug this lead into something like a laptop or a power bank, and just get the Gurdy set into MIDI mode, which means the audio board is turned off. Then connect it to your phone. Then the phone will be perfectly capable of supplying enough power to keep the Gurdy going. So this is the Android version. It seems to have been improved since the last time I tried it, to be honest. It seems to be working better. On some phones, some people said it worked, but the audio didn't come out of the speaker. You had to plug headphones into your phone to hear it. But obviously today, on this phone, it's working through the speaker on the phone. This is nothing special. Classically Android phones, we think of Samsung phones, but this is a Motorola G4. It's quite a few years old. I bought it refurbished for about $120, and it's absolutely fine. And it's got a battery that lasts almost a week. And it's my favourite phone. I actually prefer it to an iPhone personally. But there you go. Android version clearly, at least on this phone, works absolutely fine.